Shalom, Havadim. you, so when I press record on my phone, it's a countdown that my phone does before it actually starts recording. So that's what I was waiting on. But anyway, I waited too long. So anyway, it's so good to be on camera. Yahweh, he has just this beautiful, beautiful way of doing what he does and giving us what we need when we don't even realize that we need it, but we're just going day by day. This glare is bothering me. Let me see. Oh, it don't matter. Yeah, we're just going day by day, appreciating our daily bread, relying on Yahweh to give us what we need, not planning, and just going about our business, which is his business. And so it's just really, it's so amazing how he does what he does, which brings me to yesterday's live stream. It was so amazing. It was so awesome. Every time caregiver gets in front of the camera, I think more and more as she grows and becomes even more ehad with the ruach, it's like I don't know about you guys. Well, I'm pretty sure that because you are my Havarim, and we're gonna get to that too, that you understand this. But it's like I don't see her anymore. It's the same thing that I had with Alan. You know, from the very beginning, I saw a man. And then after time, after being washed by the word, and as the Ruach was growing and growing and growing and growing and growing in me, I didn't see Alan anymore. I just saw the Father's presence, the Ruach just, oh, talking to me. And it's so amazing. So I'm talking to you guys, but I'm in front of the water, my favorite place to be, looking out at the boats and just being a had with Abba and being obedient to what he wants me to talk about today with you guys, which is the live stream from yesterday. I'm just going to bring up a couple of points that the Ruach brought to us through caregiver, which was awesome. Again, but the whole missing the mark. Oh my, how? What about that, Melta, huh? I mean, I think I said in one of my videos a couple of years ago about missing the mark, how churches, they will tell you, oh, repent, 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 means you need to turn around. And then Abba brought it to me a couple of years ago, but that was just the first of it until last night when he kind of brought it home with the study on the live stream. But a couple of years ago, Abba brought it to me that no, it's not turn around, it's turn to me. Turn to me so you can get it right. And then last night, he brought it home with what caregiver presented to all of us, which is not that we're only turning to, well, that is the final destination, to turn to him, because that is the mark, being with him, going his way, not our own way. But standing still and aiming towards the mark, as we stand, and we are in constant movement, while we are picking up I'm from Texas, so I don't, I'm just gonna say gun, but because that's what my mind goes to, from my childhood. But as we pick up the gun, the shotgun, sawed-off rifle, whatever it is, sawed-off shotgun, rifle, whatever, you pick it up and you look for that mark and you shoot. Sometimes you're going to hit the mark and sometimes you're not going to, but you know where you're shooting. You know what your aim is. And this is why when we aim for the mark, which is, Yeshua, the door, the light, we are marching forward to that. We are not turning around. We are doing that. Hopefully, we all should be doing that in echadness, in union, togetherness, at different times, but we're all coming to this same place. We're all going to the same gun range, aiming for the mark. We do it at different times. It just depends. But the thing is, in unison, we're all aiming. We're all aiming for that mark. And this is why the word says that we are not to judge the world. Why? This is the mail time that was given to me when I listened to it again today. Why are we not to judge the world? Well, because the world, they are not aiming for the mark. They are just wherever that wicked desert lying wind blows, that's where they're aiming. And they are satisfied in that. They are not ehad with us. They are not ehad with Abba. They have not been separated and divided and have been called by Yeshua as his Havar. So it's none of our business, really, where they're aiming, and to judge them, no. But we are to judge each other. We are to, as the Ruach leads us, to help each other out as we are trying to hit the mark. That's the point. As we're trying to hit the mark, we are to help each other out. This is the reason why I can call caregiver, or I can call, Debbie McMillan. Hi, Debbie. Hi, Care. But I can call them and without saying a word, maybe just laugh, and they'll start laughing. Or I can call them and go, ugh, and they they feel what I am saying, because the Ruach, the same in me, is the same in them. This is why I can text caregiver and Tiffany and say, "Oh, ESS alum, I love you so, so much. I have," and I receive that same response back. The reason is because this brings me to Havarim. This all goes back to us being in unison and one together, and how at the end, Abba is bringing all true believers together, Ehad, for his purpose. This is why it's so important that we, that we watch who we call our friends. The word friend is an English word. It's a beautiful word, I guess. But what does it really mean? Everybody calls everybody friends nowadays. Everybody got best friends. you know, um, I've heard somebody call several people, "Oh, this is my best friend so and so. This is my best friend so and so." Well, it's like, oh wow, and the way my mindset, how I grew up and how Abba is teaching me more and more, is that to call someone your best friend, wow, that must mean that, as Yeshua said, that is your chavar. You have put them in a special classification, because Yahweh has put it on. And when I say your, I mean all of us who truly, sincerely walk in the way. We walk, as Micah 4:5 says, we walk in the name of Yahweh. Not walking and, being dogmatic about the name Yahweh, but walking in the character of Yeshua, who walked in the character of the Father, Yahweh. Those that do that on that compressed, tight, compressed, uncomfortable path have been classified and divided. They have been divided and are separated by his Kodesh fence, that Geder HaKodesh, his protection. All of those, that very select, very few group of us, those are who we should call our friends. More importantly, our Havarim. Are you treating the same people that you call your friends in the world like you treat the mishpacha, because those are your friends. I have my notes here because I was just so, I don't know what the word is, excited. I was so excited when I was listening to the live streams in this morning, and the Ruach was talking to me. So it brought me back to Alan's video, I call you my friend, my chavar. And he brought up Tehillah, Psalms 119:63. And I want to read it. It says, I am a companion, a chavar, of all who, I should put on my glasses, right? Put your glasses back on, Vanessa. Okay. I am a companion, a chavar, who revere you and of those guarding your orders. That's who we are in fellowship with. That's who is your chavar. Those who walk that uncomfortable path with you, to where when you call me and you say, or when we talk in the chat and you say, oh, I had a headache today. This world, I know what you mean. I can relate, because the Ruach in me is pining. The same Ruach in me that's pining to go home is the same in you that's pining to go home. We are all calling out, Yeshua, come, Yeshua, come. Yahweh, please, let him come down here and get us. We want to meet him. We want to meet him in the air, to be with you and to be with Alan and to be with all of our loved ones from the past, our fathers' fathers, Abraham and all of them. We want to be with them in Ehad, with you, those that you called from that time to a time such as this, your chavar. I wrote a note here that Yahweh, he divides those from the world to stand. Those out of the world that he called, those out of the call that he has chosen, to stand at the range. And again, I'm using that gun range metaphor. The gun range, standing in the shooting booth, loading up, preparing, prepping, and shooting. Sometimes we'll hit the mark and sometimes we don't, but we know what the deal is, because we're all in this together. As companions of Elohim, through Elohim, by Elohim, for each other. This takes me to the conviction of the Ruach, turning back to Yahweh. Only your true friends, only your true Havarim should be doing this. If they are not being convicted by the Ruach, are they really your Havarim? Or should you really be calling them your Havarim? Because those that he has selected and put in this special classification and divided out from amongst the world, they will be convicted. Though there's no doubt about it. And they will want to draw closer and closer and closer to him as the day approaches, when we can finally say, oh, this is what you look like. Oh, this is what you feel like. Let me kiss you. Let me hug you. And we run to Yeshua and we hug him, and he wraps his arms around us, and he fills in all the jots and all the tittles of everything that we had all these questions too while we were here. It reminds me, speaking of the mark, so this is what it reminds me of. My son, for the most part of my son's life, I was a single mom. And I know you guys are like, well, she happy about it. No, it's not that I'm happy about it, but it's just the fact that when I look back on everything, I was a single mom, but I was never really single, because for most of his life, there were plenty of times where Abba was there leading me as my head on how to handle my boy, a boy that became a man. So my son's first chore was taking out the trash. He was 3 years old. And I know most people are like, you had your son doing chores at 3? Yes, he was taking out the trash. He would take the trash out. I don't know. I'd probably help him tie the bag up. And he was so little, but my son's always been very tall for his age. And his job was to take the trash out. We lived in the apartment in the back of the complex, right next to the dumpster. Now, of course, the dumpster was taller than him, but I would let him take it out. I wouldn't go with him outside. He would open the door and he would just be dragging the trash behind him. He was so happy to drag that trash because he had his vision on that dumpster. His vision was, I am going to put this in the dumpster. I'm going to make my mom proud and I'm going to show her that I'm a big boy and I can do it. And so the rule was, once you get the trash to the dumpster, you have to yell from the dumpster, okay, Mom, I did it. And that was his cue. And that was my cue to yell back at him through the kitchen window, oh, great job, before I went out and I would see the work that he did. And we would go over, once I went out, we would go over what he could do different, but I would give him praise first for trying to hit the mark. And then we would go over what maybe he could do different or what I would do for him as his parent, as his mom, so that next time it would be a little bit easier. Maybe not so much trash would be on the ground. But that's the point. Abba is always there with us as we're trying to hit the mark. We are never, ever alone. And the word says he exalts those who exalts him. Period. Oh, what a joy it is to be walking the path with you all, my Chavadim, my Mishpacha, those that Abba has set aside and divided, brought out of the world and divided and has held in his Geder HaKodesh. I love you. Until the next one. Shalom.